So we're going to do a little bit of bonus relationship flow. Usually we're on our Unity Flow podcast we learn here. But today we're going to talk a little about relationship because I think that's sometimes the hardest thing. Like really what's so special about Tisha B'Av is that there was intimacy on the hardest day of the year. It was the Beit HaMikdash. And then even with such a Churban, there was still intimacy. When the nations came in who were trying to destroy our temple, they came into the Beit HaMikdash. They saw the Kodesh Kadoshim, the Holy of Holies, which is the most intimate place between us and Hashem, and the Kruvim were embracing each other. And that's the true Metzias, that's the true reality of our oneness of Hashem. I was just learning yesterday with Dr. Yudeman that we're always bound up with Hashem Yisrael. We're always connected in this deep way, in the most intimate way, but it's very bifnim, it's very inside. You don't feel it, like it's under layers of all kinds of emotional baggage and blockages, but that's the
we don't feel what we're very
that
what,
intimate connection with Hashem, like the Kruvim, the two, the Kruvim, or how would you translate them? Cherubs kissing each other in the Holy of Holies at a time of destruction, of Churban, on Tisha B'Av, and every year that Shechina, that Tekes, that oneness is manifest in the lowest way, in the most painful way, to show us that it doesn't matter what level we're on as a people, we're always intimately connected to Hashem, especially when it comes to the Zman of Prida, the Zman of separation, the time of separation, that we're very deeply connected. So what we have to realize is the same with our soul connection with our wives, that we're really in the most deep way, even if there's a lot of pain and like a similar kind of, because everything's a nimshal as a mashal. Everything's a mashal as a nimshal. Yeah, so you have this, the way it appears in reality, and then there's the point of it, panemius, the true explanation. And that true explanation is with Hashem and us, is a manifestation, comes out in our relationships with our family. That's why Hashem, one of the, obviously these are deep concepts and it's way beyond me to explain it, but on a simple level, that's why he made this whole relationship experience, to give us an opportunity to, just like Am Yisrael go through ups and downs, times of Simchas Torah. I mean, look, Simchas Torah, October the 7th, a few years ago, was like a Tisha B'Av. Yeah? So even Simchas Torah can become a Tisha B'Av. And then a Tisha B'Av this year, we hope will become a Simchas Torah. But the idea that the intimacy, either way, is there with us and Hashem. It's just sometimes it's not manifest. We don't feel it. We're experiencing the pain, the sorrow, the destruction. Like with what happened in Manhattan, we're looking at this young lady and we're thinking she had a whole life ahead of her and she was shot. All these soldiers in Gaza, her whole life ahead of them, and they're blowing up. Yeah, but we dedicate this to mamesh.
Were they targeted?
I don't know the actual details as much, but I know that unfortunately
she was a very, very well connected.
Yeah, special person. It's hard to know with these things, what the pshat is, what's really the story behind it. But in the end of the day, the story is that we're going into Tisha B'Av and we have to feel, and we have to pray, and we have to try to do more to prevent these kind of terrible tragedies and disasters going on for our people. We have to change the narrative. We have to change the energy in the world, this judgmental din energy. We have to bring in a new energy of life. One of the hardest things is when you're married, really what a husband has to try to do is shine at his wife energy. Is to bring like the sun to the moon. The woman energy is more up and down, like with the moon. Obviously, every man has a little bit of woman, a man a little bit of woman, a little bit of man, but a little bit of sun, a little bit of moon mix up. But the point is the standard understanding of husband and wife based on Torah is moon, a woman is a moon, and she's going on these cycles of ups and downs and falling, waxing and waning. And then you have the sun, which is always hopefully able to emit this intense light of inspiration and truth and clarity. And that's what a husband like the sun has to aim for. And if he's not doing that, and if he's distracted, I'll be very open, right now there's this whole hoo-ha about this Sweeney, Sydney Sweeney, that whole advert, the American Eagle. You haven't seen it? Oh, you don't go look for it. But it's all over the news right now because of the backlash towards that advert. for me, I don't care about the backlash so much. I mean, it's all nonsense to me. What I do care about is this constant image of this not normally pretty woman again and again on all my standard feeds. Even Ben Shapiro, he titled his podcast, and I'm just saying, shouting this out, and I don't understand. Like, he has to be a commentary, but he also is an Orthodox Jew. So sometimes I find the standards. Like, look, I'm going through my own studies in the business world, the music world. What level do you stay at in order to make Panasa to prevent any of this kind of energy coming in? But he called the episode "Cleavage of America" and had a picture of her on the front. And she's not exactly ugly. I mean, the point is forget all the others. For me, just as a from year, trying to keep focused on my wife and my family. Obviously, I'm far away from porn and very negative other energies. But when suddenly, even my normal feed that I try curate to be at a good place is in putting in front of me this gorgeous lady. It's like, again and again. It's not like one time. It's like every single person, even the rabbis are talking about it.
It's a
sign. Like Rabbi Shai's Taub's talking about it. I do believe that before Mashiach comes, there's an Indian called Aisha Soviv Gever. Before Mashiach comes, the women are going to get very strong, and they're going to surround the man like the chuppah when she goes around the man. We talked about this before. That the women's energy is going to get very powerful in the world, and it's all part of the Levana, the moon, becoming more full again. Like it will be when Mashiach comes. The moon won't be ma'at, won't be going waxing waning. When Mashiach comes, it's going to be full the whole time. So just like the day, the night will be lit up. So there won't be any darkness, there won't be any goddess, any pain and suffering the way we experience it now. So that's preparation that the moon and the feminine energy is becoming, again, B'Shlem is coming more whole and not needing the man's energy as much to fulfill its own light. And that's something where there is a change, but not every woman's in that state all the time, and not always are they as independent as they think they are, and they need our light, and we have a job to do by the time in the meanwhile, and we have to try, and if we fail, we try again, and we apologize, and we try again. One of the good things I've noticed in marriage, and my older brother, I don't mind bringing him up, he's been divorced, and thank God he's happily married somewhat in his second marriage, as best you can be in that world, in terms of, traditional North London. So he's doing pretty well, in my opinion. So, and his wife as well. So, but one of the things he told me that he knows how to ride the storm when it starts downs. He's figured that one out, that flow out, and that's something which you have to. One of the things I always do when I'm going through a harder time is I say, look, I haven't been the best husband, firstly, just in terms of all the husband-wife skills. The second thing is I haven't really given over enough energy towards her, like inspiration, enough good energy in the house. All right, so 9 days, it's a bit hard on us, but nevertheless, you still need some level of simcha. And then the third thing I would say so the first point is just working on your general husband-wife skills. 2 is the energy level you bring to the home. And the third, especially to your wife, and the third level is what I think I'm struggling with as well, is when you're not focused, like you're trying to figure out how to make more panasa, or you're getting distracted by a Sweeney advert. These other women out there like pulling you away from focus on your wife, and then that's when they start. And this is Rabbi Nachman's famous Torah and Lucas Maron. That's when they start sort of not rebelling, but starting to sense you're not in tune with them, so they start not being in tune with you. You're not doing the will of God, so then they're not doing your will. That's what Rabbi Nachman says. So then everything goes out of sync. And in order to align and sync up again, you have to tune yourself back into the will of Hashem. That's one of the reasons why I thought it was important to learn this right now.
Thank you, Ali. Good Torah.
Yeah, so here we are. Let's read a little bit of open up on just a sefer that I found in the Beit HaMikdash here. And it's from a famous Rav, the Belavavi Mishkan Evner. He's a very big Dasis HaGoshech. Get to know your feelings. Very important. The feelings. Creation is all about these 2 moments. What are these 2 moments? How das of the heart is secret to creation as well as secret of man. It explains that midas are only the outer garments of the heart, while expansion and contraction are the inner layer of das of the heart. So we're saying the heart is expanding and contracting, just like I'm saying, there's this wax and waning, this up and down, ruts v'shad, Rabbi Nachman from the Baal Shem Tov. The entire creation consists of expansion and contraction. There's going to be good times, there's going to be hard times. Generally speaking, there's going to be running, there's going to be resting. there are three kinds of love: love for the Creator, love for the Torah, and love for the Jewish people. Yeah, Avos Hashem, Avos Torah, Avos Yisrael. This is the Baal Shem Tov's three pillars that you have to really hold on to really go in the path in a sincere, true way in the derech of the Baal Shem Tov. Let us love for a Jew. Let us use love for a Jew as an example. When somebody loves his fellow Jew, this is kind of expansion. And when he is self-absorbed, which is what my wife is calling me, which is the opposite of what a husband's supposed to do, this is contraction. She needs to feel that you're engaged in her pain and her struggles. She needs to feel you're her best friend, you're there for her, and you're her lover when in times of loving, yeah? She needs to feel that. And if you're self-absorbed, which is what she's calling me, then you're doing the opposite. Yeah, so you're holding in the light and you're not sharing it. A simple definition of love for Jewish people is that, and that's contraction, is that a person should totally expand towards others and never contract into himself. That's the true, like you see this abundance constantly, the one over there. What's he do all day? Just give out, all the time, giving. Because they're Makayim, this teaching of the Baal Shem Tov of being mashpir, of giving over and giving over and giving over. There is, however, a flaw in this definition because it is impossible to only expand. Everyone has in him the point of lishma, act for the sake of Shemayim, of heaven, and he can thus expand. But everyone also has a shalol lishma, his own ulterior motives, which makes a person worry and thus contracting to himself, which is generally what we do when we're worrying about our business stuff, worrying about our health, or worrying about how we feel, and we're getting caught up more and more in ourselves. One of the things that's painful for me is sometimes when I listen to some of the podcasts nowadays, they bring a lot of these like stories of pain and struggle. It's supposed to be inspiring, or these therapeutic ones. The only thing that pushes me away from them a lot is that they just feel very self-absorbed. I understand they want to tell a story, but one of the things I love when you listen to real tzaddikim and people in mashpia is they're not self-absorbed. Even the way they talk about Yiddishkeit and experiences, when they give Torah, the last thing they want to do is talk about themselves. They want to be mashpia, they want to give over, they want to expand, not contract. Yeah, and they want to expand that with who they're talking to. So the circle widens. Yeah, like the Beit HaMikdash, I was just listening to Shai Stav. He's putting out some amazing content right now from his Soul Words thing. I had the merit to meet him on 770 on one of these Shabbatons, and I met him here in Israel. In Beitar, I came to Beitar.
You met who?
Shai Stav. He's one of my favorite. Check out some of his content right now. It's very strong. So he said a whole story about the Beit Rebbe was trying to reach out to Bobby Fischer, the famous chess player. Yeah? So he used in a letter to one of the other famous chess players, Vikachov, whatever his name was, but one of the famous Jewish chess players, a bit more. He was Shamash Shabbat. He was like a famous chess Jewish Frum player. So he asked him in a letter, wishing him congratulations for winning the World Chess Tournament. He asked him, P.S., please reach out to Bobby Fischer because he's been around. So the Rebbe's caring with all the things going on in his life, caring about some guy who's got somewhat disconnected, and he's asking this other famous chess player to reach out to him, and he did. And they spent a bunch of hours together. And that's the idea of expanding all the time, reaching out to larger circles, but in a way that's obviously balanced and real. The love of other Jews. A person uses a pure part soul, which is the point of lishma in his soul. The more a person of the lishma, the more you have love for other Jews. But no one's perfect. Yeah, the sages say that a person should always learn Torah lishma. But when it comes to mitzvahs, you should do them shalol lishma. Reb Chaim Volozhin explains always to mean that a person has in him some shalol lishma. The only question is how much. Thus, there's always some concern for one's personal well-being that remains, and this is a contraction of the soul. Everyone has in his soul both expansion and contraction. In order to love other Yidden, one has to increase his expansion and lessen his contraction. And on a very deep note, a person should expand into himself and then contract by entering the collective unit of the Jewish people as a whole. That's a deep point, you just made a deep note. A person has to expand into himself and then contract by entering the collective unit of the Jewish people as a whole. That's deep. I don't know, you have to think about that one. Yeah, a person uses these two abilities simultaneously. When he connects to another, he expands. When he thinks about himself, he contracts. There's really nothing else taking place in the world other than these 2 minutes of expansion and contraction. Just like the heart, it expands, it contracts. That's the essence of life, pumping life into your body. This does not simply mean that one has to bring himself to love another person. The other definition, what we have to expand ourselves towards him or her. Love is when a person expands and connects to another. Our mission is Avos Yisrael, then to learn how to expand towards others and not how to love. Okay, so he's going to go into this. It's a very deep concept. We'll just say like the first person in our life we have to really expand the most to in our daily life. We wake up hopefully next to her, is our wives, and that's going to be the challenge. Can we expand our concerns, our energy towards our soulmate, towards our wives, and they'll feel it. They'll know our focus, and if we're not focused, they'll correct us. And it's going to be hard. It's going to be painful. There's a lot to deal with. Maybe neglect, a lot of stuff going on there, but we have to try, even if it's a little bit more, even if it's for half an hour a day, a bit better than it was in the last few months. And that would be a big part of building the Beit HaMikdash. The more we bring Ahavas Yisrael and Ahavas Soulmate into our life, true love, true lishma for their sake, the more we'll bring the Beit HaMikdash from Hey V'Meinu Amen. Hashem should give us koach to do that. And congratulations again to my son Baruch mashal for successfully completing what his service in the army and his education, and he should go high to success of dedicating this all to his merit and to our own shalom biases.